into your accommodation in Queenstown. Now the other option is by helicopter. Now they're obviously quite a different machine, and they will fly you from Milford Sound up around the northern side of the mountains there in Milford, and providing the weather stays like this and it's forecast to, they will do a glacial landing. Now that is absolutely outstanding. It's fantastic. You'll get off the helicopter and just standing on that glacier at about 2,600 meters, you'll feel like you are on top of the world. Take your photos. Yeah, absolutely brilliant, absolutely outstanding. And then it's back aboard the helicopter, flying back over those mountains, down over Lake Wakatipu. Now, they don't actually land at the airport because they don't need to. So they will land on a great little spot just prior to Queenstown on the side of the lake, and they'll have a courtesy van waiting for you to take you back into your accommodation. So about 45 minutes on the helicopter. So that's a sort of a brief on it, guys. If you are keen, if you're interested, just come and have a chat to me at one of the stops and I can tell you more about it. The only thing we do need to know is if you are interested in flying, then we need to know before you go out on the boat so we can organise it while you're out cruising. This road we're on was built by the owner of this farm in 1925, and he built it from Tiana to up and over the other side of this hill, and he built it to make it easier to bring all his things on and off the farm. The way they did it prior to the road was by a small boat down the lake. That lake can get very, very rough. This was a pretty rough single lane wagon track, but it was certainly easier than the lake option. And it became the foundation of the Milford Road. And it started 4 years later in 1929. The farm, Tiana Downs Station. It's 12,500 hectares, got 10,000 sheep on it and about 1,000 head of cattle. Now, on a farm like this, when it comes time to shearing the sheep, the farmer will hire in a gang of shearers, and then he will get all the sheep he wants shorn into this building down here on the left-hand side. That's the sheep yards. You'll notice that they are mostly covered, so if there is a bit of rain about, they'll stick them in the covered yards, and then the shearers take over. Now these guys work very, very hard. It's back-breaking work shearing sheep. They get paid by the number of sheep they shear in a day, somewhere around the sort of 260, 280 per day. Now while they're doing those sort of numbers, they're earning pretty good money, and it's a common thing for the smart shearers to put that towards buying a farm. So when it does come time to retire, and normally that's because the back is kaput, they can retire to the farm. been declared to be a World Heritage Area in 1986 by UNESCO, the United Nations organisation. Now, to become a World Heritage Area, you've got to prove to UNESCO you have an area of significance to mankind. We have 14 magnificent fjords out on the coast, the mountains, the glaciers, the waterfalls, the native beach forests, the native birds. And in fact we named these surrounding national parks of Mount Cook and Mount Aspiring to be all part of that World Heritage Area. And it was called Te Waihi Pūramu, the place of Pūramu. Now we've got an agreement with UNESCO that we keep these areas as natural and pristine as we can, and we've given that job to the Department of Conservation, or DOC as we know them. Now DOC do a great job. A lot of their work is with the introduced animals in the park. We talked about deer earlier on. Now there's a lot of deer in the park here. They will eat the leaves, the bark, the foliage off the trees, like these manuka and beech trees here. And of course then those trees die. So we will in fact hunt somewhere between 4,000 and 7,000 deer from the park every year. Now we brought in rabbits, sort of about the 1920s, and this was sort of the time of the Depression, and of course rabbits, you can go and catch a couple of rabbits, feed the family for a night, so good idea. They do a lot of damage though. Their population can go through the roof. On the farms they'll eat the grass off the paddocks. In the national park they will eat the native grasses, the ferns. And so yeah, we've tried a number of things to getting the numbers of rabbits down. At one stage we brought in the stoat, kind of like a little ferret. The stoat was supposed to deal to the rabbits. But of course the stoats came into areas of native bush where the native birds were feeding and foraging on the forest floor. And of course these native birds knew nothing of predators. So the stoats had a field day and they did a lot of damage to our native bird population. So then we had to get the number of stoats down. Poisoning, trapping. The Aussies amongst us will have a little bit of a chuckle when we say we brought in the brush-tailed possum from Australia. We brought it in to start a fur trade. We didn't have any little furry mammals, so in came the possum. They're a bit like the deer. They eat the leaves, the bark, the foliage off the trees, and when they finish one tree, on to the next one, and the one behind dies. So they were doing a lot of damage to our trees and our bush. And at one stage we had an absolutely ridiculous number of possums in New Zealand. 70 million it was estimated at. Sheep on the kale by the look of it. So yeah, we had to get the numbers of possums down. We brought in 1080 poison and that was very effective. And got the numbers down by about half. We've actually got a very good possum fur trade going as well. Great little product, very light, very warm. It's a hollow fibre, and from possum fur we make beanies, jumpers, scarves, gloves, socks. We combine it with merino wool, making an outstanding product. So if you're going to buy anything like that, guys, buy natural. Don't buy synthetics. It's absolute rubbish.